Good morning, interwebers. As always, I am Bearclaw, and welcome to very sunny Botswana. I apologize for not having made any videos, since last week, Friday. I wanted to, the few days before today, like Christmas Day and so on, I did actually want to make videos, but according to my laptop, something else was using my camera, so I wasn't able to record anything, because my phone's camera is definitely not good enough, and I don't have a cameraman. I don't specifically want one at this point in time. I'm sitting skew from the table. Sorry. They're, like, this is the table. Now this is about the flattest I could get it for where I wanted to sit. But yeah, just to give a short recap of what happened in the last few days and stuff, and so on with me. Well, obviously, I came to Botswana last week. Saturday. That was last week. Yeah. Anyways, I came to Botswana, staying here in Lubati, where my dad is the new minister for the DRCB here, or the Dutch Reformed Church in Lubati, under the DRCB. Yeah, and since then I'm not sure the temperature has ever dropped from, well, lower than around about 28, which Celsius, by the way. I won't be able to chill here in 28 degrees Celsius with Wi-Fi on without a jacket and stuff. Yeah, like yesterday and the day before that, I only went to sleep at around about 3 o'clock, which is not abnormal for me, but usually it's my choice to go to sleep at 3 o'clock. I actually only fell asleep at 3 o'clock, more or less. I tried to go to sleep around about 11. Yeah, I physically could not sleep because it was too warm. It was warm is not the right word. It was too hot. It was hot and I don't want to say humid, but yeah, humid, and the pressure was just so immense that it actually made me nauseous. I couldn't still lie in my bed. I had to go outside, just to, I don't know, get a bit of wind on me or something. And then I got cuddled with a bottle of ice water. It sounds like I'm exaggerating, but no, last night was bad. Was really, really, really bad. But yeah, so far I am enjoying Botswana though. It's just that there's not really enough to do. I feel like I look so scruffy today, damn. But it's the Wi-Fi. I haven't, I'm very, very sweaty. I apologize, but it's hot. It's really, really hot, and I am a person that I am someone who enjoys warmer weather to colder weather a lot. I would prefer to be hot rather than cold any day of the week, but like, I don't know if you can see on the video, but my eyes are red from lack of sleep, or just constantly not really being so tired, but feeling put out just because of the heat. And as someone with low blood pressure, that also makes life a bit more fun. Um, but yeah, what? Yeah, this video isn't actually about my whatever's in Botswana or anything like that, though. Um, although, still in the recap, for Christmas, I got something. Granted, I knew about it beforehand. I was there when my mother bought it. I physically asked her in the shop for it. Not necessarily being serious at the time, but she was like, "Nah, okay, why not?" I'm guessing that all the years of asking for something similar has, I don't know, worn her down or something. But yeah, so for Christmas I got Monopoly, but the Pokemon version, the Kanto edition. Sorry, Kanto. Come on, the Kanto edition, which is just yes, just yes. In case you haven't noticed, I am a bit of a geek, um, and yeah, oh, that is just good. I mean, I grew up with watching Pokemon. When Pokemon was on, they switched out on SABC2 at 4:30 every afternoon, which meant when I had cricket practice, I had to run from cricket practice to my house, which was at least not really far, but cricket practice ended at, I think, 20 past or something like that. This makes no sense. Why would a cricket practice end at 20 past? Anyways, I distinctly remember having to run from my school, from cricket practice or sometimes rugby practice or whatever. Um, I had to run to my house to be in time for SABC2, where they show that half an hour in which they showed, well, essentially anime, but all the Funimation versions, which is unfortunately the only version of Pokemon that I can actually watch because I can't find any subbed versions of Pokemon. Well, I can find episode 1, episode 13, and episode 33. Yes, that's not enough. You cannot watch an anime by only watching 3 episodes per series. It's not possible. But yeah, so I grew up with Pokemon. Pokemon Blue is probably the game I have played by far the most in my life. Not on. I think I've talked about this before though. But yeah, unfortunately not on the Game Boy itself. I played it on VBA on my PC, and then later on my Mac, and later on my Android phone when I still had one, and then I got a new phone and I played it on that. And unfortunately, there aren't emulators for iOS. Come on, iOS developers, make an emulator, make a VBA emulator for Pokemon. I understand that VBA is very, very old technology, but come on, please. I mean, Nintendo has been making NESs and SNESs for the past decade, releasing them as special editions and everything as sort of a vintage idea. Obviously, upping the graphics as far as I know and stuff like that. Wow, I can't even imagine in my brain a NES with an HDMI port. But yeah, they've been releasing those. They've stopped now. They said they're not going to anymore. I don't know what are they gonna bring out next. Then are they gonna start bringing out vintage Game Boy editions using new cartridges, like DS cartridges for games that require a touchscreen and 3D visualization on, well, like for example the Game Boy Color I think had, but I think it had 16 colors. Or I'm just mistaken, and that was the one that actually had that. It's blue and white, and darker blue and white and well, white or blue. Um, but the original Pokemon Blue, I have a remastered version, which I'm not even aware that there was one made. Maybe the guy who uploaded the emulator, the um, disk image or whatever you want to call it, maybe he actually just fiddled around with it and put color in it. But as far as I know, Pokemon Blue and Red is still supposed to be, well, black and white. Oh well, it's a more grayish type, but black and white. Um, and yeah, it's not the black that's the gray part, it's the white. That's the gray part, by the way. It's old, I think it's LCD. Yeah, 8-bit black and white, which is not really white, it's like a dirty, dirty white background, which essentially, it just meant there isn't any color going through that specific pixel, and that is what made white in the olden days. I've played Pokemon, I think it was Sapphire. I played on a Game Boy Color when I was young. My one friend got a Game Boy Color, and he also got Pokemon Sapphire, and we would sit in break taking turns walking around in Pokemon. I think it was Sapphire, I might be wrong, I can't remember what game was released for what, I want to say console, but it's not a console, it's well, I guess it's a handheld console, but yeah. But if I remember correctly, it was Sapphire. No, it wasn't Sapphire. Sapphire came out on the Game Boy Advance. It would have been maybe Diamond or Pearl, but most probably it would have been oh come on, Gold or Silver or Platinum. But I don't think Platinum was released that publicly in South Africa. So yeah. But anyways, we took turns walking around in Pokemon on my friend's Game Boy Color because he was the only one that had one. I mean, at that stage, parents didn't just buy their kids stuff. I mean, if you wanted something big, you negotiated Christmas and birthday presents with them. Like, you said, okay, cool, so if you get me this, then you don't need to get me my next 2 Christmas presents. Which, if you think back about it, is actually quite, I don't want to say stupid, but it's very economic. It's economical. It's a very interesting, very business-like way of thinking, especially for the age you were at that point. I mean, like, I know I negotiated things like that when I was like 7 or 8 to get a PlayStation 2, which we then later got for free with a phone, because that's how phones worked in the past. Like, you took this phone and then you got your PS2 with it, or later you got a PlayStation Portable with your phone. Like, you only pay for the phone and you get a console. Can you imagine getting the new iPhone or the new Samsung, only paying for that, and then getting an Xbox One X with it, for example, or PS4. Although PS4 is already a bit old, but still, it's I don't know why it's not happening anymore. But that was, you almost chose your phone based on what you get with your phone. Like, it was a real thing. Like. And I mean, at that point, PlayStation 2 wasn't even a year old yet. It was new. Oh, that was fun. But see, you can't take a PlayStation 2 to school. So you can just talk about it to your friends. And then when their parents consent to you they coming to your house, then you can show them the PlayStation 2. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. Um, but yeah, there was always this weird rule thing that a lot of my friends and I myself had. Like, you're not allowed to go to a friend your parents haven't met. And I've always just wondered, like, okay, cool, but he's not allowed to come here because his parents haven't met me, and I'm not allowed to go there because my parents haven't met him. So how on earth are the parents going to meet the respective children? Um, yeah. But yeah, luckily I had a friend that just stayed just down the street, and well, we played SSX3, and while he later on, when the PlayStation Slimline was released, um, the PlayStation 2 Slimline, he got one of those. Um, so he got Ratchet and Clank, and um, because yeah, in the olden days it was what, either Ratchet or Clank, or what was that other thing, Crash Bandicoot. Um, you just it just didn't work that you had both. I don't know why. I'm getting games weren't that expensive though. I mean, I think we bought SSX3. We bought brand new. By the way, what a great game. Um, Still my favorite my favorite console game of all time is SSX3. Um, and I think we bought that relatively new for around about like $75 or something. Which, yes, in that time it meant a lot more than $75 to now. But, I mean, $75 is like 2 packs of cigarette. It's, yeah, a bit more than 2 packs of cigarettes for me, a bit less than 2 packs of cigarette for my one friend. But he pays cigarettes that cost $40 upwards, so, yeah. Anyways. um, but yeah, so we played hours and hours of, we rented, um, what, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, that's Dragon Ball, by the way, if you didn't know. Um, we rented Tekken, and I think it was Tekken 5 or something, I can't even remember. It was the new one. It was amazing because we could rent it for only $20 for a whole day. It was amazing. Um, uh, innocent youth. I don't want to say innocent. Innocent is wrong. Oh, and then later we got Killzone 2. Oh my. No, we didn't. We got Killzone. No, we got Killzone 2. I'm not sure, but we got Killzone, and me and my brother. My friend wasn't that big of a fan of first-person shooters, even though Killzone is sort of RPG as well, but you had the option of first-person. He wasn't a big shooter game type person. Um, I always see Killzone as a first-person shooter because I always preferred playing it in first-person mode. Um, because you still had the option of, are you the person or are you at the back looking at the person? You had the option between first and third person. But yeah, no, I played hours and hours on my PlayStation, and it still works. Um, I mean, I can't connect it to my TV, but it still works. I do still have an old TV that it can connect to, so yeah. Oh, the good old days. Hours and hours and hours of gaming and gaming and gaming, and then, oh. this isn't really what I wanted to talk to you guys about, but meh. Um, and then yeah, then at some point obviously my brother was getting older and everything, and he started getting into PC gaming a lot more. So I got myself, after a while, I got myself a decentish PC. At that point in time, you didn't actually need gaming PCs to run the latest games. You just needed a PC with decent specs. But decent specs at that point was like half a meg. No, not half a meg. Like I remember the one game that I bought. What was the game's name? It was also this first-person shooter type thing. um, well, no, actually, the first PC game that I ever bought, or PC games that I ever bought with my own money, was Star Wars Best of PC. At that point, and that had the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 in it. Um, it had Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, which I've never played because it doesn't want to work. Um, which is sad because I actually owned the actual game, but it never ever ever wanted to work. Knights of the Old Republic, which is which is probably the PC game that that which is probably the PC game that is my favorite of all time. Black Ops 2 comes close though. Gosh, I enjoyed Black Ops 2, but that's further down the line. Um, I Yeah, so then I started PC gaming. I got myself um, the Star Wars games and everything. That was before online gaming was a thing. And then I went to high school, and then I've obviously made friends and made new friends and everything. And they were all playing. I bought Medal of Honor. I bought Medal of Honor. I can't remember which one. That was the first. That was one of the first PC games that I bought, and it required a full 512 megabytes of RAM. I had to buy new RAM to be able to play that game. Yeah, that's half a gig of RAM in total. In total. Um, and yeah, so then I traded Medal of Honor later. I traded it for some more other PC game. I can't remember what. Oh no, I traded Medal of Honor for a PlayStation game. I think I traded it for World Rally Championship 2003 or something. Um, but yeah, anyways. Um, and then I went to high school, made a lot of friends, and they were playing this. Well, it wasn't really a new game, but it was new to me. I've only heard about it. I was sort of a Medal of Honor fan before this, because that's what I knew. And then they all played Call of Duty. Granted, I also played a lot of Counter Strike against my brother and with my brother and so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, good old Counter Strike Source with all its bugs and all its glitches and all its loveliness. Ah, um, where you can actually fall off a map while you're in the middle of it. Such fun. Um, but yeah, so then they all played Call of Duty, and that was, I think, just after or around about the time that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 released. I think that released in 2009 or 8, and we were still playing it in 2010. I upgraded my PC a bit, got a new graphics card, um, which is sad because my graphics card, I still have the same graphics card. It's a brilliant graphics card, but the fan isn't working. I think I've talked about this in a previous video or something. Um, that has not been uploaded yet. Um, but yeah, Um, so then I got myself Modern Warfare 2. I saved up a bit, bought myself Modern Warfare 2, and gosh, we had fun. It's so much fun. Started going to LANs. Dad's LAN was relatively close to my house, and the one I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna go with the regiment, the one Voortrekker regiment. Zuidse Vierde, their sort of clubhouse thing, or club hall, or whatever you want to call it. Um, and that was fun. And then, oh my goodness, Black Ops 2 was out for pre-order. All of my friends were talking about it. Like, we were on top of every single thing. We watched every single trailer, gameplay. My one friend always said he was a bit skeptical about it because it took so long for them to release a gameplay trailer, and in the cinematic trailer there was things like shock grenades and stuff like that, which they didn't really agree with because they felt it was wrong. You know, because children have opinions about everything, everything whatsoever. Um, but yeah, they were really not happy with shock knives. They were very excited about the fact that there might be a crossbow, um, and they brought back throwing knives because apparently that wasn't in Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 3. I can't remember which. Modern Warfare 3 wasn't anyways. It didn't last long. I think Modern Warfare 3 was released in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. But even though all my friends bought it, I did not have money for it because I had recently bought myself a graphics card. I mean, I was broke. And well, it was quite expensive. It was $250 for Modern Warfare 3. But they still played so much Modern Warfare 2 because it was just so much better than 3. And then Black Ops 2 becoming rumors and becoming more, and then the trailers were released, and my friend said he's not sure if this game is gonna go well. And he wasn't the best gamer around us, but he was generally the most knowledgeable about all the games. But I decided I'm not gonna believe you. I have a few other friends who are also pre-ordering, and I was the only one in my main group of friends that pre-ordered Black Ops 2. That's not true. My one other friend, Clement, also, I think, pre-ordered it. And no, it was Diedrich and someone else pre-ordered Black Ops 2 for I think $290 or something. At that point in time, pre-orders were actually cheaper than actually buying the game when it released, which is not the same anymore. Now a pre-order costs more than the actual game does, which makes no sense in my brain. And I saw the other day that, and I mean, I basically played Black Ops 2 since its release, which was probably around about when I was grade 10, so around about 2012. That would be my guess. I'm not actually sure. And I can't check on Steam because I have no connectivity. I'm in Botswana. Data is expensive as here. Anyways, and then we played Black Ops 2, and all of our friends except for one, I think it was actually Clement who did not buy. No, Clement did, because I remember him going shouting shoddy every time we played Nuketown. No, it's Diedrich didn't have the game. It was his brother that also pre-ordered it. And yeah, anyways. Yeah. It's weird that I can remember so much of early childhood, but when it came later, it's just a bit of a blur. Um, but yeah, and I checked the other day on Steam. I think I have just over 1,000 hours on Black Ops 2, which, granted, if I look back at that now, at 1,000 hours, let's quickly do some math. Um, 1,000 divided by 60. So it's about 16 games, 16 days of straight game time. Um, which is quite a lot considering I got to level 17 World of Warcraft in, what, 7 or 8 hours, I think, of gameplay. No, I'm sorry. 50 or 60 hours of gameplay, which I was quite impressed with. It's not, I don't think it's supposed to be that quick. But anyways, yeah, so that was... I've probably played Black Ops 2 actually more than I've played any other game in my life, except for Pokemon Blue. And that was just sort of from, what, grade 10, I think, when it released, until somewhere in 2015 when my graphics card decided, nah, it's not a list for this anymore. And I only recently, like 3 weeks ago, I put my graphics card back in, added an extra fan to my PC, which doesn't actually seem to help anything, but my PC is feeling better. Granted, I removed about 100 gigs of stuff from both of my hard drives, meaning I'm now using almost half of... No, I'm kidding. I only have 750 gigs of space on my PC, by the way. It's sad. But anyways, so I've only recently started playing that again. Gosh, Black Ops 2 was fun. I missed it so badly, and there's still a lot of people playing Black Ops 2. I mean, it's an old game, but still, there's a lot of people playing it. It's not like Modern Warfare 2, which I was able to download it in 2016 on my Mac. They released a free to download if you have the original. On PC, they released a free to download version of it for Mac, and I played that. But that was where you search for a game, then you go make yourself coffee, you go out and have a cigarette, you watch a bit of Tally, and then you go back and then you find, okay, cool, we only need 2 more players to make one game. Yeah. Because everyone's playing on private servers or something like that at this point in time. So, or they're playing different games. But, yeah. So, funnily enough, my graphics card stopped working. And then I started playing WoW, which is World of Warcraft. I played that on the Molten server, which was actually a South African server, which was great. It was seen as one of the most Blizz-like servers in the world, which just essentially means it's the most like the actual full original game. If you don't know why I'm doing this, there's a little bar there that tells me that I've gone way over time. And when I do this, or this, I try to move it so that it looks like I'm holding it up. Let's do... there we go. Sorry, it doesn't really work like a mirror, it actually works like... Yes, there we go. Now I'm holding it. Haha. But yeah. And then I stopped gaming. Because I, well, didn't have a graphics card. And got into working and studying and all of that thing and stuff. Whatever. Yeah. And you can't really game on a Mac. Well, you can, you definitely can. It has the capabilities for it, but they just don't write games for Macs. Um, because the gaming community doesn't have a lot of people using Macs in it, which just, in my opinion, is, well, it would change if they started writing games for Mac. If they started writing more games for Mac. I mean, like, granted, Modern Warfare 2 and stuff like that I can get. Macs weren't that popular at that time. And granted, yes, I do still enjoy my PC. It's not like I'm either Mac or PC. I don't really care as long as it works. Um, I mean, I prefer my Mac for certain things, and I prefer my PC for certain things, and I feel like stuff like GTA should only be on console. Um, but yeah, I just feel like if they actually start writing games for Mac, then more people on Macs will start gaming, or more gamers will get Macs, and yes. Um, because, okay, granted, Fortnite is now released on Mac, even though it doesn't really want to work, even though I do have the minimum requirements. But I think that was maybe down to my faulty internet connection at home. Um, but yeah, and well, then a bit later on, mobile gaming started becoming a thing. Um, and back in the day, I've re-downloaded it now. A few, just before we came here, essentially, because I know you can play it offline as well, and obviously I need offline games because I don't have internet. That is this Nova. Well, this is Legacy, but which the one thing that I haven't done yet is actually checked, because I saw a lot of people in the comment section on the App Store talking about it plays just like Nova 1. And a lot of people saying like it makes them so nostalgic for Nova 1 and all of that. And I've never heard of Nova before I got this game about 3 years ago for the first time. And it was fun. It really is a fun game. I've missed shooters a lot. It's a fun game, but nowadays mobile gaming isn't that big a thing anymore. Nowadays, console gaming has taken over the world by storm, which I'm not specifically that happy about, because it takes away the need for like organizing LANs and stuff. And honestly, the best, and well, not the best, but the best experiences I've had gaming were at LANs, with my friends. You meet new people, you get new games, you hear about what's going on in the world. I mean, that's where you get the community. And although, yes, you can LAN with an Xbox One, and you can, I think you can LAN with the PlayStation 4, but it's not the same. I mean, we had for the World Cup earlier this year, we actually had a FIFA tourney on Xboxes and PlayStations and everything. But essentially what happened was we organized the tournament, and we had about 5 different Xboxes there. It wasn't this guy on his PC with his stuff against that guy on his PC with his stuff, which in a way I understand how this is sort of a bit more fair, because I mean, generally in gaming, the people with the more money have the better stuff, and the better stuff make you sort of a better gamer. Not necessarily. Like my one friend, he was always brilliant at first-person shooters. He played about 3 or 4 Modern Warfare 2 games on my MacBook, but he played it with a trackpad. He wanted the challenge. He played it with a trackpad and the built-in keyboard and all of that, like this. I don't know if you've ever tried gaming on a trackpad, especially stuff like first-person shooters and anything like that. It just doesn't work. Yeah. He ended that game first. Team deathmatch, full lobby actually. Um, yeah, he ended that game. He was first, and he had a KD of 4. Or to those of you who are not in South Africa, or have taken to the convention of the US, calling it KDR. Sorry, that's actually I think the UK who calls it a KDR, which is the kill death ratio of 4. Playing with a trackpad and a built-in keyboard. He played. Granted, I do have a very nice keyboard built in, but still on a trackpad. On a trackpad, how I can't fathom in my brain. Um, and you might say, no, but the people he was playing against. Yeah, no, he was still 360 no scoped. Like, yes. That's why I don't play Modern Warfare 2 anymore, because the only people still playing Modern Warfare 2 are people that really know what's going on. I played one game, and I was actually very tactical about it. I played the game relatively well. Yes, I think the most kills I've gotten, I got in those few games that I played with that lobby, yeah, I think was two kills in succession, which, if I remember correctly, was essentially me killing someone, and right next to him someone appeared, and I just sort of continued killing him. Like, they are insane. I mean, I got on the one map I got 360 cross map no scoped. Like, granted, I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of luck involved, and he was sort of just going for it. But still, like, to know more or less where someone might be, because he knew the spawn spots. I had just spawned, moved two or 3 steps or whatever. I'd like to, yeah, 2 steps forward, boom, dead. Just gone. Because he knew the game so well that he knew where I would spawn, and then just killed me again, because he had just killed me somewhere else. Such fun. But yeah, now everything's console and console and console, and I will never not have a PC though. I enjoy the idea of having a PC, but I might very well buy myself an Xbox One or PS4, or, well, if all goes well, both. Or maybe the PS5, I don't know when Sony plans on releasing that, but yeah. Because I think all they've really done is just, from the PS4, was release better PS4s. Sort of like the Xbox One, which released, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. All they've done is, well, released an Xbox One. They released an Xbox One S, I think, first, but there was one that didn't work. I think that might have been the One S. They released the Xbox One S, and now the Xbox One X. Which, I don't know, if you make a new console, why not just give it a different name? But that's just me. It still looks like an Xbox One, just has better graphics, a better processor. It's essentially an upgraded Xbox. But yeah, my basic problem with console gaming is you can't upgrade your console. If you want to have a better console, you need to buy a better console. Whereas with PC gaming, if you need a better PC, you just buy a better graphics card, you buy a better CPU, you buy more RAM. You don't have to buy a whole new PC. But yeah, that's just me. One day I'll get myself one of those lovely things. Oh. Why couldn't they release Fortnite for 360 though? You can play it on Windows 7, so I feel you should be able to play it on Xbox 360. It works on the same basis as an Xbox One does, I'm sure. Same operating system, even if it's a bit older version. But yeah, I mean, I can play it on my. I can't play it on this phone. But you can play it on your phone. So, but yeah. But anyways, thank you for listening to this story that I hadn't actually meant to tell you. Because I wanted to talk to you guys about books again. But anyways, um, I have been Bearclaw. You have been the interwebbers. And oh, I almost forgot about this. If you like this video, please, well, like it. Comment if you want to, any tips or tricks, or tell us a bit about your story. What is your gaming timeline? I did, however, forget to mention that in grade 1 and 2 and so on, before I got a PlayStation 2, we played NES at my one friend's house. Mainly we played some athletics game, which was, the graphics was horrible, the controls were iffy, but gosh, we played. But yeah, any tips or anything in the comments, please put them in the comments. And like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And well, share it with your friends if you enjoy the videos. And yeah, oh, by the way, this is, in a previous video, I think actually my first one, I talked about this tattoo. Now you can see it a bit better. Let me just turn a bit. That was my first one. Well, it still is my first one. It started to fade a bit there, and where was the other place? I think in the S and so on, but the rest still looks actually quite nice. But yeah, so I've been Bearclaw, you have been the Interwebbers, and well, this has been my morning coffee.